I'm Kenna with Kenna's Kitchen, and today I'm coming at you with a 1-year ownership and review of the Suvie 3.0 kitchen robot. I'm gonna be letting you guys know how I've used it over the past year. Does it make my life easier? Does it make delicious foods? And does it work as advertised? I'm gonna be giving you the ins and outs on everything about the Suvie 3.0 so you can know if it's perfect for you. So if you're watching this video, it's likely that you're in the market to buy one of these products. So you're wondering is it worth it? What am I getting myself into? Is this actually going to help my life in the kitchen? This is a all-in-one robot for your kitchen. It not only can cook in multiple different ways, but the really unique feature of this is that it's also a refrigerator. That has been really cool in situations like I want to make breakfast for the family the next day. I can actually whip up some egg bites the night before, put them in this unit and kind of say, hey, I want the egg bites done at 8:15 in the morning. And it will keep it cold until it's ready to cook, and then they'll be ready at 8:15. It's really cool to have this functional one-stop shop to prep dinner and make dinner and not have to worry about anything in between. Going further into the convenience and the ease of this, Suvie offers a home delivery service. You can actually go online or go on the app and select what meals you want. There are side dishes, there are desserts, so it's not like you're stuck with just dinners or just lunches. And there are a vast variety of options out there. There are decadent desserts, there are bad for you dinners, and then on the complete opposite side, they offer a massive amount of healthy meals. These have your macros on them. They've got all of the nutritional information that you may need. So this is awesome for someone who's busy but really cares about what they eat and doesn't want to rely on a fast food or DoorDash kind of service to get a quick meal when they need it most. It's got 2 different sections here, and Suvie likes to kind of sell that as a all-in-one meal. So you can kind of do your proteins on the top, and you can do your side dishes, your rice, your vegetables on the bottom, and be completed at the same time. They can cook different ways, they can cook at different temperatures, but they will finish at the same time, which makes mealtime even easier. So with the refrigeration, you can refrigerate up to 24 hours in advance, but there's also a wide variety of meals that have rapid cook options. So you can go from completely frozen in the freezer to right on your plate in less than 25 minutes. And I have got to be honest, as someone who is such a snob and loves delicious, healthy, fresh cooked meals, the frozen meals that they provide in the delivery service are honestly really kick-ass. They are tasty. I'm surprised every time. I don't understand how it's done so quickly but still so good. Really, they have so many things that you can choose from, so you're not really limited to, the same meals every week, and they're constantly changing. So you check back the next month and there's a whole new variety of meals. So love that, love the convenience, have definitely been adding that into our lives with our toddler now, and especially the fact that, he might not like what we eat, so I have to make something again quickly because he's a growing boy and he throws what I make on the floor, but eats these rapid cook meals that Suvie makes in 25 minutes like they're the most delicious thing he's ever had. So it is what it is. So as far as the actual cooking and the meal services and the convenience, we have loved it over the past year. I will say I am an avid home cooker, so I really enjoy bringing out all my pots and pans, cutting up fresh fruits and vegetables, and whipping up something that's really fun. But when I am pressed for time, or I know we're gonna be out all day, or I leave my husband at home with our toddler, this is a go-to because it is just easy and convenient and delicious every single time. So moving forward, let's talk about the build and just kind of how I've liked this on my kitchen counter for the past year. It's shiny, it's stainless steel, it looks nice on your counter. It's getting some fingerprints, but you just kind of wipe them off. You've got this easy to reach and easy to open little thingamabobber. I like the tray. I use them in the kitchen sometimes just to, if I'm not using this, I'll even use the trays to marinate some meat and put them in the fridge. I love the trays because they clean really easily. They are dishwasher friendly. The build is really nice. So I love using just the trays in general. It is pretty expensive to get a replacement tray, or let's say that you want to do 4 cooks, you want to do one after the other. I think it's about $120 to get 2 more trays. So, take that with what you will, but really liking the way it looks on the counter. It doesn't really stick out. It is bulky. Luckily, our countertops, we have the space for them on there, and luckily our countertops are high enough. So the Suvie 3.0 is actually smaller in width than a microwave, but it is much deeper, and it's also really heavy. So expect that if you are ordering this and you maybe aren't the strongest person out there, you might need a little extra like leg day workouts before you actually order this to get it up on your counter. But that is because it is a refrigerator too. It's not just a cooking unit. Like there is a whole like refrigerant system in here. So keep that in mind. Also, when you're getting that in, you're gonna let this sit for 24 hours before turning it on because you gotta let that refrigerant sit and chill. Chill before it chills, you know? Going over the build has been fine. It has kept up nice over the years, not really dinged up, not really destroyed. The pans are still in great shape. So let's talk about the actual electronics and the user interface with this unit. You've only got one button here, and everything is gonna be controlled by rotating the button. It's gonna like toggle through the menu. Or, which is my favorite part, if you do end up doing the meal service kits, each kit has like a card in there that kind of tells you the directions and how to do everything. And the coolest thing about this is that there's like this little microchip in there and you just tap it on the Suvie logo and it comes up with what you've decided to eat for the night and it knows exactly what to do. You just have to put it in there and press cook. Nothing else to it, which is what makes those meal services so much easier, so much more convenient. You literally don't even have to think about messing up the time and temp. You just tap and go. It's like Apple Pay. It's awesome. So yeah, you've got everything through the knob, but also you can control this via app, which is really cool and really convenient, especially if you're away and maybe you want to change the time that you want dinner ready. You can just kind of change that on the app, or you can kind of look through the app and kind of get an idea of what you want to make for dinner in the future. Really love the app with the Suvie. It really gives you connectability everywhere. And in this day and age, we all love connectability. So that is awesome. Going more into the app, when you go on the app, you're going to see, you know, the home page. You're going to see what's new with Suvie. You're going to see the new menus. You're going to get an option to go through their curated like recipe book because you don't have to use the meal service in this Suvie robot. And I don't normally use the meal service. So I'll preload with a pre-marinated chicken and some rice in the bottom. And that sits in here all day because it's refrigerated. And then I say, hey, I want it ready 6:30 p.m. And it knows when to start the cook and everything is in there, everything's ready, and at 6:30 we sit down. The only thing we're missing is a kitchen robot to literally bring it from this to the table. That would be nice.
That's the Suvie 4.0.
Yeah, this is sold as a high-tech, futuristic kitchen robot, but you don't actually have to be tech savvy or futuristic to actually operate it. You know, this is great for young people just learning how to cook. It's great for old people who just really aren't. I always dig into the old people when I try to give them an example, and I just need to stop at old people. It's great for old people. It's great for husbands who are left with their children for the weekend. Really, everyone wins. And the coolest thing about the app, you can check in on what your grandma's making for dinner. You can just log into her little Suvie account and be like, oh, grandma's making chicken marsala with peppers again. All right, so going over just kind of what I've experienced the past year, I just want to give you a quick pros and cons list that I've kind of come up with that I think are really what make or break this unit and what may help you decide if you want one yourself. Some pros to this that I think are just so cool. Obviously the refrigeration. I love being able to put in something and not having to worry about it for up to a day. Like, very, very cool futuristic technology here that I've never heard of before, like refrigeration to cook, top pro on my list. Also love the home delivery service. I don't necessarily use this much, but when we're in a situation where we know we're gonna have a busy month, we know we're gonna go out of town and need to kind of help each other out with meal times, or we know that we just want something delicious sometimes that we don't want to cook, we'll put it in an order and have it in our freezer ready to go. It's got the meal service. It's got the app, which I love. You can kind of check in on your cook as it's cooking, which is cool to kind of get in a real-time feedback of what's going on, as well as just kind of planning out your meals in the future or discovering new meals or even adding in your meal to their library. Those are all really cool things that you can do in the app, and just kind of staying on top of your meal service if you do decide to do that as well. Another really big pro of this is the convenience of actually cooking the meal. And that's like the biggest thing here, right? Is making the food. When you do the meal kit services, everything is going to be ready for you except for maybe some oil and some salt and pepper. Everything else is literally like, tells you what to do. It's like, take the salmon, put it on the top rack. Take the rice, put it on the bottom rack. Take the water, add this much. It is as simple as it can get. And it's even easier with those touch to tap recipe cards where it just sends the info straight to the device. There is no having to select, broil at 20 minutes for whatever. It's so simple to cook in this device with the meal kits that they provide. Now, if you do want to cook something yourself, you want to make your own meal, that is super simple too. You just kind of have to adjust and learn a little bit with each meal. And they have guides like that on the app. So even when you're a little confused, you can kind of reach into that reference there and it'll help you out. And my last pro is the convenience of actually cleaning up. Everyone hates cleanup after mealtime, and all of the products in the unit are dishwasher friendly. So they're easy to spray down, put in the dishwasher, they're ready for the next day. They're easy to spray off because they're stainless steel, they're pretty much non-stick, and they're easy to hand wash. So whatever way you need to do it, they're really convenient to just kind of cook, clean, put away, get ready for the next meal. We went over the pros, now let's go over the cons. Not too many here, but some I think that are worth mentioning. Let's start with the one that I'm still not sure if it's a pro or con, and it can kind of go either way depending on your space. Just the size of this unit. For the space that I have, it's really not a problem. It's not in the way. I have the counter space for it. Now, if you are in a smaller kitchen, it could be in your way. It could become a nuisance. So you want to really just look at the measurements and make sure you have a space to put it if you are looking to add it to your home and use it on the daily. Another thing about space is that even though it is a little bit of a large unit, you're really only cooking for 4 people. If you're a family of 6, I wouldn't recommend this for your meal prep because you're just not going to be able to fit the amount of food you need in there unless you want to do like a multi-cook where you cook the proteins on both the top and bottom unit, and then you pull them out and then you cook your veggies or your sides during the second cook. That is a possibility and something you can do if you're looking to cook more food, but you're gonna need to get more trays unless you want to immediately move the food out and clean them and cook them in them again. Another con that is less sous vide problem, the shipping. They do ship the meals frozen in a box with styrofoam and a pack of dry ice in there. And I've had a couple boxes show up where some of the meals are partially thawed. Now, I don't know if I can re-thaw thawed food. So those meals in particular are normally eaten that day or the day after. I don't really feel comfortable refreezing those foods. So I'm not really sure if it's the shipping, like, the big box companies that ship the stuff. But anytime I have had those issues and reached out, I have not had a problem with customer service. So that's just something to keep in mind, especially if you live in a warmer area or in a rural area that maybe takes a longer time to get your meal services or packages. Just kind of keep that in mind. And for my last con, I like to say it's like an all-in-one where you set your food, it can refrigerate all day, and you can be out at work and it starts cooking and it's ready for you when you get home. But there are certain modes and temperatures that you actually can't do that. Due to safety guidelines, any mode that gets over 400 degrees in temperature cannot be started via app. It can't be started without a manual person like starting the function because it's a safety hazard. It could catch your house or your apartment building on fire. So modes like broil and bake and roast, anything that is a high temp mode has to be physically started with the push of a button. Other lower temperature modes like slow cook and sous vide, proof and steam, those all can be started via app or in the morning before you leave for work, and you can set a time for it to be ready and nothing has to be done in between those. So I think that's important to know because some people go into this like I can do any meal from anywhere and it's ready for me when I get home, but that's not necessarily the case for every meal. So just make sure you're aware of that before going into this with those thoughts. That's really my pros and cons list. Much more pros than there are cons. Really, it's an awesome device. It works well, it functions well, it does what it's supposed to, it has so many options. I do want to say, if you're kind of like a crock pot cooker or an instant pot cooker, this is similar. This has got the same vibes, except it's smarter, futuristic cousin. I am not a crock pot cooker because the texture is always the same for me in crock pots. you're not able to separate anything. Like you're getting crock pot soup every time of whatever's in that bucket. And then with Instant Pots, you know, you have all those options, but you kind of have to be home to work the Instant Pot because you're like pressure cooker. I know there are some options in there, but like you have to do it right then. Like you can't just, you know, you can't refrigerate it for hours and then cook. This kind of brings that all together. It kind of gives you that option to do a low and slow cook or just set it before you leave for work and then it be ready for you when you get home. But it's app controlled, it's got a refrigerator, it's got a ton of cooking options, so you can kind of get different textures and different food options all in one device. You've got those two different chambers, so you can get something that's crispy and something that's soft and mushy, all in the same cook. Suvie really allows that, so I have really enjoyed this unit for that purpose, especially being the cooking snob that I am. Like, not really a big crock pot fan because you don't have any control over anything. It's all the same taste and flavor and texture. But the Suvie 3.0 kitchen robot has really allowed me to differentiate my cooks as well as planning them out ahead of time and making mealtime a breeze. So I have really enjoyed that. That has been my review on the Suvie 3.0 kitchen robot. I think it's a great device. I think it is futuristic. I love what it's bringing to the table. I love that it's making cooking more convenient, more healthy, more just accessible to more people, and just kind of bringing people back to the kitchen table. We all love that. So if you're looking to get one of these, go ahead and check the description below. There will be a link to get one. And if I have an affiliate link, I'll put it there. Doesn't cost you a thing to click it and buy from it, but it helps support this channel. So we really, really appreciate that. And if you wanna check out anything else on our channel, just click around. If I missed anything in this review, please let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions that I did not answer, let me know in the comments. I'll get back to you guys soon. Until then, bye.